Kevin, what sticks out in terms of just the different rotations and lineups that Steve went with today? What in your estimation worked, and what can you guys build on when you have so many different guys and experiment on so many different lineups?
Yeah, I feel like we got a lot of guys that can play different positions, guys that can do different things out there. So it's on us to adjust to any lineup. I think one thing that it's non-negotiable is how we communicate on the defensive side. I feel like if we communicate, cover for each other on the defensive side, then offensively we could pretty much, play in a nice little flow, play with each other a little better once we get stopped. So no matter the lineups, it's just got to be on one. We got to be on one page defensively.
Steve had insinuated that you guys still had a long way to go to get where you wanted to get to. I'm curious as to what you think you guys need to improve on to get to that point.
Just more experience with each other. I mean, we looking at the long game here. I mean, we're a team. Our real season starts. We want to be rounding out the shape during the playoffs, and so throughout this year, we definitely want to play great basketball in the regular season. I'm not saying that, but it may take some. It may not be the start of the season or first month of the season. We still trying to figure stuff out, but we understand the long game, and we just got to keep grinding every day.
Kevin, with James, he had 14 assists tonight, and we saw last year how he emphasized his playmaking. But under the circumstances, do you think he has to get back to being the prolific scorer that he has been in the past?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to do both. I mean, I think that there's going to be certain games like tonight, when he can control the game by just getting 14 assists. It's going to be nice where he's going to have to get 30, So James is ready for anything, and he's been through everything in this league. So whatever you throw at him, he'll be prepared. But, each game may be different for us. So we just got to be locked in and ready.
Hey, Kevin. Since you mentioned James, this is twofold. One, I'm just curious how you see this team having to play differently, presuming that Kai is not here for the long haul. He could walk through the door tomorrow. But assuming that he's not here, how do you see this team having to go about their business a little bit differently? And as it regards to James, do you sense him kind of, a pretty quiet locker room. Do you sense him maybe being a little bit more of a leader vocally, especially if Kai's not around?
I feel, when you're losing somebody like Kyrie Irving, it's hard to, on the fly, just figure out where you're going to get that production from. So I think over time, we're going to start to figure out which guys going to step up and play and fill that void of, those minutes, those shots, those opportunities. I think we'll do it as a collective. But as far as leadership in the locker room and James being vocal, everybody has good dialogue. Steve is, the main voice. Coaches do a great job. So I think we all are in conversation about what we need to do and how we feel about the game. So I feel like everybody will help in that area as far as leadership.
Kevin, I got two for you. Just first on Nick. He had that hot start for you guys, and defensively just kind of seemed everywhere. I'm curious what you thought of his game tonight.
Yeah, we're going to need him to play with that energy. Having LaMarcus, who's a throw it in the back to the basket big, Paul back to the basket big, and then we got somebody that can fly down the lane, catch lobs, just be athletic. We need that from him, especially playing with James, who's looking up, trying to make those passes. And tonight he's phenomenal, getting to the rim, guarding guys on the perimeter, blocking shots at the rim. So we're going to need that from him every night, and we expect that out of him. This is his third year in the league, so, it's another level he wants to step up into, and we're expecting that from him.
And then just, have you spoken to Kyrie since Tuesday's news?
No, I haven't.
Hey, Kevin. Joe Varden from The Athletic. Good to see you again. Be back with you. You came to Brooklyn, at least in part, to play with Kyrie. Now, who knows? So I guess the first question is, now that this has happened and the Nets have said that he can't play part-time, what is your reaction or your feeling about that?
I definitely want Kyrie to be around. I wish none of this stuff would happen, but, this is the situation that we're in. And, Kyrie made his decision on what he wanted to do. He chose to do what he wanted to do, and the team did the same. And this is on me to just focus on me and do my job, and I let those two parties handle that situation. So, I want our whole team together. I want us to be at full strength, but sometimes it don't work out that way. But I'm still positive that things will work out in the best for both parties.
And you have said tonight that you guys are going to have to try to figure out how to make up for the production. And that's probably going to fall somewhat on your shoulders. I mean, you're a prolific scorer, but you're going to have to do more than you would have to do if he was here. And I'm just wondering what you feel about that part of it. I know you guys have talked about how it's a personal decision and whatnot, but now this actually affects you and the Brooklyn Nets in a way that doesn't have to be. So I guess to play devil's advocate, why aren't you guys
Upset?
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, I guess why aren't you upset?
Because we still get to do what we love to do every day. We still get opportunity to play. This is not the ideal situation coming into the season, but some of this out of our control. So what we can do is come in and focus on our jobs every single day. And what is being mad gonna do? We're not gonna change his mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we'll let him figure out what he needs to do, and the team figure out, what they need to do. And us as players, when we in the locker room, we on the floor, we're gonna work with each other. So, life is amazing. So I can't be too mad at somebody making a decision for themselves. That's who am I to get upset at that? So just focus on what we got in this locker room. And when Kai's ready, I'm sure he'll talk to Joe and Sean, and they'll figure that out and they'll tell us. So until then, we're gonna keep grinding.
Last one, Brian.
Hey, Kevin, do you worry about this sort of being a question once the season starts, keep going? Like when you have a team that has maybe like free agency, all year long, keeps getting asked and asked and asked. Do you think that's going to happen with this, or do you think maybe you guys kind of nipped it in the bud in the preseason?
I think it's going to come up throughout the year. I mean, it may not be an everyday thing like it is now, but I'm sure it's going to come up here and there. But we pros, we understand. We know y'all got a job to do, so it's on us to focus in on our job and answer the questions. I mean, we're not going to get irritated at what y'all ask. It's just part of the job. So, I anticipated happening throughout the season, and we knew what we was getting ourselves into if something like this would have happened as far as media-wise. So, get prepared now and just be locked in on your job, and everything else to take care of itself.